Can you outlive the old you long enough to get to the new you? It's going to be a tricky path. It's going to hurt. It's going to be scary. You're going to be fatigued. But that does not mean that you stop, because it takes some time to shed old skin. Can you give yourself that time? Can you give yourself that grace and that mercy to say, I'm going to be sad and I'm going to accept that I'm sad. I'm going to be depressed and I'm going to accept that I'm depressed. And I'm going to feel all my emotions. I will not try to suppress that. I will not try to pacify that. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on and supporting me. Now you know I like to get right into it. And today I want to touch on the art, because it is an art, okay, of detachment here. Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking onto my channel. So today I want to talk a bit about the art, okay, because it is an art of detachment. Now there's so many of us who talk about having soul ties and how it's so difficult to leave that man alone. Leave that man alone, girl. All right, leave that man alone. Leave that woman alone. Okay, leave that job alone. Those dead-end situations, let's leave them alone. But it's so much easier said than done, okay? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. It's very tricky when you're dealing with emotions and ties and memories and things of that nature. So I want to give you guys some very practical steps of how you can comfortably, fully, and realistically detach from a situation. Now, number one, I think it's most simple to start to try and detach from a situation emotionally. Leave by the mind first, then the body follows. So for example, let's say you're in a dead-end relationship, a dead-end job. You look at this person, they breathe wrong, they sashay, they switching their hips, you don't like how it looks no more. And you're just asking yourself, like, why am I even with this person? But then you also have the other side of you that is very drawn to them and cares for them. Both have very legitimate reasoning. But the first thing you want to do is start to detach emotionally. I feel like you'll have a greater likelihood of success if you detach by the mind first. And how do we do that? You have to start to understand, first of all, who you are, which I made a couple of videos on that. Number one, know who you are. Because that way you'll be able to know what suits your purpose and what doesn't. You wouldn't be feeling like this if you didn't feel like this person was stifling you in some way or holding you back in some way. You feel like this for a reason. So let's trust that, right? So let's trust our intuition. Let's trust our feelings. So that way we can make an informed decision and say, yeah, I got to start really giving this more thought. So for you, that may look like deleting some pictures. I know a lot of us have trouble deleting pictures. Constantly deleting the thread after you're done texting that person. Starting to really do something on a regular basis that is constantly reminding you, so you keep it at the fore of your mind that this situation, the days are numbered. Okay, like it's only a matter of time till I'm up out of here. So I definitely recommend doing something regularly that wipes that person out, because essentially that's what you're trying to do. And it's difficult to grieve someone who's still living, or to grieve something that is still you have the potential to deal with, but you know it's no longer for you. It's very tricky stuff that we're talking about. So let's not make light of it. But indeed, I think that could be very helpful by constantly reminding yourself on a daily basis, by taking small actions that this person is going to be gone soon, or, you know, I have to start acting as though this person is temporary, because they are. All right, so that's number one. Get rid of those pictures, get rid of the things, get rid of certain attachments. Even if you have certain jewelry, thing that they gave you, throw it away. I'm very big. Listen, I'll throw something away in a heartbeat. I don't have nothing from nobody that they're giving me, nothing. Because even if I liked it, it's just like, no, I'm not gonna lie. I got a few things that, you know, I couldn't let go, because I like it. I like wearing it, whatever. But for the most part, most things are gone, as far as, you know, things that we've done together and created together, because that is just a reminder. Why do you want to be reminded of that? If you're really serious, you don't want to be reminded of that. Like, if you quit a job, are you going to go back sometimes and be like, well, damn, I love this job? You look around, you go in the building and you look through the hallways and you reminisce. You're not doing that. You're on to the next, right? That brings me to my next point, being on to the next for real. By that I mean, seriously focusing on leveling up. There's no better glow up, no better level up than the one that like comes after a breakup or something ending in your life, because now you got a mission. Now you got some sort of fire burning in you. So I highly recommend that anything that you've been sleeping on, any talent that's been lying dormant, you already know how I'm coming, how I feel about it. You need to really hone that, because you need to busy your mind. Because if it was a job, a person, there was something that was once taking up space in your mind, taking up space in your day. We are creatures of habit. So you're naturally going to want to lean toward what you've been doing and what you're comfortable with, just because that's what you've been doing. But now that your intellectual or your logical mind is intervening and say, hey, although I've been doing this, it's no longer serving me. You're gonna be warring with yourself for some time between the emotional side that gets attached to our daily routine, and then the logical side that's saying, well, this routine is no longer serving me, so I have to make sure that I have something in its place. We want to make sure we have something productive in its place. So if that's you starting at the gym, making your schedule, and preferably making your schedule around times that you'd be with that person or be at that job or be doing whatever it is that you're trying to move away from. Because that way you're teaching not just yourself, but you're teaching your mind and your body and your subconscious that, no, we're doing a new thing. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna hurt. It's supposed to. It's change. I talk a lot about how growth hurts. Growth is nothing glamorous. There's nothing glamorous about glowing up. It hurts because it forces you to do things that you're not ready to do. You don't want to do, and it's like pulling teeth. But I promise it gets better. Okay, so be very intentional about what you choose to take up that space. Whether it's the gym, you've been wanting to do a yoga class. Now perhaps you're watching YouTube videos that make you feel good, or YouTube videos on whatever education that you're trying to pursue. That's something that you need to take its place. Something must take its place, because if you leave their space open, they can come back and occupy their space. You need to understand that they no longer have space. Okay, so that's number 2. Now, number 3 is full-blown acceptance. Let's just mourn it. Let's accept that it's not working. Let's accept that it won't work. Let's accept that we've exhausted all other ways that it could possibly work. And when you come to a level of acceptance, that is a very, very powerful place, because what it teaches you is that you no longer are in control. So it's bittersweet, right? It's nice to know that we're not in control, so whatever happens, happens. But it's also hurtful because it's like, man, I'm not in control. I can't do anything about it. But the beautiful thing about it is that you'll start to take back control and focus on you. So that's where your power will come back. That's when you'll start to have the battery in your back and start to feel more energetic about other things that you want to accomplish, rather than sulking about this person or about this thing that you are trying to move past. Right? So we need to really get comfortable with the idea of understanding that it's okay that it doesn't work out. Like, it is okay. I promise you it's okay. There's an analogy that always comes up in my mind. If you're a size 4 foot and the person or the thing that you're no longer compatible with has a size 6 shoe, who are we to be upset with, and who's to blame? The size 4 foot because that's how you've been made, or the size 6 shoe because that's all that's here? You don't fit. It's not working. It's not working. Whose fault is it? Is it the manufacturer? Is it your creator? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's at fault, not you or your person. It just simply does not bode well. Perhaps it served a purpose at some point when you were trying to stuff or trying to squeeze, put your little foot into that size big ass shoe. Perhaps that served you some sort of purpose at some point. But now it's no longer serving a purpose. You walking all crazy, you bending your ankle every which way because it's not a right fit. And you knew it when you put that shoe on in day one. But we're not going to talk about that. Okay? We're not going to talk about that because we're already talking about being involved and wrapped up in a person or in a thing, a situation that we're trying to release. Right? But acknowledging that it doesn't work, or acknowledging perhaps that maybe never even had the potential to work. Perhaps you were wishful thinking. And that's a thing too. Now you can say, okay, I can really allow myself to move forward gracefully. I can glow up now. I have space and freedom and time to do that, because now this distraction is no longer distracting me. And now that you filled up your space with things that are going to actually add value to you, like the gym, like your yoga classes, like playing basketball, spending time with loved ones, really feeding yourself, going to art shows, go out by yourself. I'm a huge proponent. I go on solo trips. I go to bars by myself. I go to museums by myself. I'll go anywhere, Dolly. I don't care. because I truly enjoy the richness of life, and I can't always wait on somebody to do it with me. I truly enjoy that. So I'm a big proponent of doing things on your own. Even if your friends can't do it with you, we're not waiting on nobody. Because if we wait for people, we'll never do it. Don't wait on anyone. You don't have the time to be waiting around. So now that you've used your this time that's now freed up that this past thing was taking, and you can use that for things that are a bit more fruitful for you, things that help you grow, things that help you expand, things that push you, you're gonna start to grow. And that person that you grow into may no longer even be attracted to that situation, but you have to give yourself a chance. I think I said a quote in one of my videos, and this is from E.T. Can you outlive the old you long enough to get to the new you? It's going to be a tricky path. It's going to hurt. It's going to be scary. You're going to be fatigued. But that does not mean that you stop, because it takes some time to shed old skin. Can you give yourself that time? Can you give yourself that grace and that mercy to say, I'm going to be sad, and I'm going to accept that I'm sad. I'm going to be depressed, and I'm going to accept that I'm depressed. And I'm going to feel all my emotions. I will not try to suppress that. I will not try to pacify that. I am human. I've been born to feel an array of emotions because they exist, so I'm supposed to feel them. Do I have to live in them? No. Do I have to identify as that for a long period of time? No. Feelings are fleeting. You're going to feel differently in a month, in a year, in 2 years from now. So just give yourself that grace to outlive the old you long enough to get to that you that may no longer even find that situation attractive. You might look back at that person and be like, what was I thinking? Why didn't anybody intervene? Like, what was going on? A lot of times that happens, and it's because you're at a different vantage point now. So let's give ourselves that grace to detach. Let's start by mentally detaching, releasing things, releasing items, to constantly remind yourself that this is a temporary situation. Let's glow up. Let's put our effort into ourselves like it needs to be. And also, let's put our big girl or our big boy panties on and allow acceptance to take center stage, because it's no one's fault. No one did anything wrong. There's nothing wrong here. I promise it's not your boyfriend, it's not your girlfriend, it's not your employer, it's not your boss. It's just not a fit. It's not giving what you thought it would give, and that's fine. Move along. Let's deal with the emotions. We're not suppressing them. We're not going to roll up. We're not going to go hit that bottle, but we're going to feel it. We're going to do things constructive. We're going to be sad, and we're going to cry through it. Because when I say do things constructive, you're not going to have fun. If you're used to drinking, smoking, and suppressing your emotions, it's not going to feel good to be at the gym or be in that damn yoga class. You're going to be like, God damn, when is this instructor going to be done with this shit? But allow yourself to go through that, because in that growth process, your character builds, and you start to really change certain things about yourself that probably needed changing anyway, that probably needed some attention anyway. So give yourself that time. Be gentle to yourself. This is not a judgmental process. We're giving ourselves nothing but grace, room, and opportunity to grow and to be. That's all this is about. Okay, so I hope that you guys took something that you can use from how to truly detach from a situation, and to make sure that you come out as that woman or that man that you also desire and deserve to be after the detachment. So I hope that this video gave you some sort of clarity. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.